and welcome to my YouTube channel where I walk you through my experiences as an expat in Kampala, Uganda. So the first thing that usually an expat has to deal with is how do I move around, how do I travel from point A to point B within the country, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you about, how I have managed to navigate Kampala so far. So there are 4 modes of transport that you could probably use. The first one being a personal car. Then you also have the option to get a ride-sharing app on your phone and downloading it and installing it and then booking a ride. Then you've got the border, which is the motorcycles. Now today's video I'm going to be talking to you about the last option on the list, which is going to be taking a taxi. Now don't get me twisted, taking a taxi doesn't mean you're going into a car and it has a sign on the top that says taxi and the driver is driving you around and there's a meter in the taxi. No, we're not talking about your conventional taxi. We're talking about what we call in Zimbabwe a kombi or a commuter omnibus. These are minivans. In Kampala, the minivans are painted white and blue. That signifies that this is a taxi. They're used for public transportation and carry up to 17 passengers. They also have a driver and a conductor operating them. The conductor being the person who collects the fees, helps people to board the vehicle, and helps them to disembark. The driver does what the driver does. He stops and goes. That's all. Now, how do you get around with a taxi? So that's been the most difficult part, and so far what I'm going to do, if you watch to the end, I'm going to give you a few key words that you can use to make your life simpler when you're taking a taxi as a foreigner. Now, yes, they do speak English, however, learning the language doesn't hurt, does it? Now, in Kampala, Uganda, when you're moving around, you can stop by the side of the road to flag down your taxi. It's very simple. Yes, they're supposed to stop at the stage, but they don't. They stop wherever there's a passenger willing to take a ride. And that can be very good and convenient if you're the passenger. However, if you're the person already on board and you're rushing for a meeting, it can be hell. So I wouldn't recommend taking a taxi if you're in a rush, headed for a meeting or anything like that, because they will stop until the person boards, no matter how far the person is. And if you're unfortunate enough to board it, to be the first person to board the taxi, be sure to wait until all seats are full before the taxi will leave the stage. Now that the taxi has left the stage, there comes the option of paying. You can always pay the driver before you get to your destination. However, I've noticed that in most cases people pay either at the destination after disembarking or as they near their point of disembarkation. This is the custom here, so that's what I do too. Whenever I'm about to get off or whenever I do get off, I take out the money and I pay the conductor his cash, and that's it. The taxis are cheap. They're dirt cheap, very affordable mode of transportation, ranging from 500 Uganda shillings all the way up to a whopping 2,500 Uganda shillings for me to get from my accommodation all the way into town. And that's not a short trip. It's a very long 45 minutes to an hour journey. During that journey, you may have to disembark in order for you to switch into another taxi that goes to your destination. So how do you know if the taxi is going to your destination? This is Uganda word number 1. Now, Uganda word number 1 is Ogenda. Ogenda means are you going? So Ogenda, and then you put in there the destination you want to go to. Ogenda Acacia if you want to go to Acacia Mall. Ogenda City Square if you want to go to City Square. the driver will usually tell you, or the conductor, yes or no, and then you board, and they'll tell you the fee, and you can go ahead your way, on your merry way. They're usually very friendly, so don't be afraid of that. In terms of security on the taxis, they're generally pretty safe. I mean, in terms of accidents and injuries, they're generally pretty safe. They are you're on four wheels, so the rate of accidents is not as bad as that of the borders. However, if you're sitting near a window, it's generally advised not to play around with your gadgets like your mobile phone, because people have the tendency of snatching those through the window. So just keep your things about you, be aware of your environment, don't leave your stuff unwatched, and you'll be good. You'll be good at the end of the trip. Now the next word I'm going to teach you, Uganda word number two is masao. That is stop here please, when you want to disembark. So once you've said that, the taxi is going to stop immediately. It's not going to stop in 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters. So be sure when you say masao, you're ready to disembark from the taxi and you're at your stop. And that's it. That's your ride in a taxi. If by any chance it's a day like we've been having these past few days and the coronavirus has affected transportation because parents have to go and pick up their children from schools, taxis do hike up their prices. So a journey that usually costs you maybe 1,000 Uganda shillings, on a day like today is Friday the 18th of March. On a day like today, the price for that 1,000 trip is going to be 5,000 because of traffic jam. Yes, there is a lot of traffic jam. The roads are congested in Uganda because why is building homes and constructing apartment buildings. However, because of the rate of development that's happening, Uganda experienced this more than 6% GDP growth. Because of that, there's a lag in the development of roads. So you'll find that a lot of the roads in the city are still dirt roads. They are not yet paved or tarred. And that causes a lot of traffic jam. The roads are narrow, they're not as wide as in other countries and other cities. So you're going to spend most of your time in a traffic jam. The beauty of the taxi, though I don't condone it, is that they do find a way around traffic jams by avoiding and scooting the law. They drive on sides of the road where they're not supposed to. I've once been in a taxi, believe it or not, that actually drove on the pavement. So yeah, taxis are good, they are convenient, they do waste some of your time because of traffic jam, because they have to stop a lot to pick people and drop people. However, they are affordable. So it's up to you. If you're rushing for a meeting and you don't have a lot of time, I would not recommend a taxi. I would say don't do it. If you're alone and you're traveling alone, then I wouldn't recommend a taxi either, because you could always take a border or a safe border, but it is still a convenient and affordable form of transportation. I hope you like this video. Please do click the like button on the bottom and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to continue to provide you more content, teach you, show you what's happening in Kampala, show you what's happening wherever I am around the world, because I do travel regularly and I want to share my experiences with you. Do place a comment in the comment section, ask me questions. I love to interact. Cheers.